Normally I like to talk about books that I enjoyed. The purpose of creating this channel for me was to encourage others to read and to talk about books I enjoyed and to recommend good books. So today I'm not going to do that. Let me just warn you up front. If you're looking for a suggestion for a good book to read, go ahead and check out some of my other videos. Today I want to talk about 3 books that I read as summer fluff. I was expecting just fun, light, lovely summer fluff, and I left very disappointed. So if you're interested in hearing at least about the latest releases from these 3 authors, they're all famous. There's Susan Mallery, Mary Kay Andrews, and Elin Hilderbrand. I will tell you about those books. I will tell you why I didn't care for them. But if you're looking for a good recommendation, try another video on my channel. So hello everybody. If you're new here to Book Talks with Miss Thomas, please subscribe. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm so thrilled you're here. I was really excited to get the 7-day loans from the library. I managed to score 3. And I had mentioned in another video that, you know, strategies when you're trying to find a good book to read. And one of the strategies is to go to the 7-day loans in the library. Usually those are the hot new releases and the good books. So, I mean, if you read a lot, they're good. There's lots of good books, but I'm somebody who reads so much. I go to the 7-day loans looking for new books that are, you know, expected to be good because they're only available for 7 days. So there's an anticipated wait list. I was really excited when I was looking for summer fluff and I saw some really hot authors, you know. Mary Kay Andrews has never disappointed me before. And Elin Hilderbrand, yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan, but usually her books are pretty good. I mean, they discuss Nantucket. They have some beautiful beach scenes. I usually find her reading very relaxing. And then Susan Mallery also, you know, just a nice fluffy read. So when I got those 3 books, I was really happy and excited. I need to let you know up front, I was looking for fluff. I was looking for just light, fun, happy-go-lucky kind of stories. And these books really didn't offer that. So that's part of the problem for me personally. Now, the Susan Mallery book, it was called The Stepsisters. I think I did mention it in a TBR video. And I liked the premise very much. I liked that, you know, instead of a traditional love story that talks about like boy meets girl and they go back and forth throughout the whole book wondering if they like each other and then they do. That's typically, in my opinion, a Susan Mallery book, which I like. Nothing wrong with that at all. But for the Stepsisters, I thought it was an interesting premise because instead of boy meets girl, it was more stepsisters trying to sort of negotiate their relationship and find out, you know, they grew up hating each other and then they're forced in a situation where they have to try and get along. And so it was not the traditional kind of romance, but a love story in that you learn how 2 sisters learn to forgive and love each other for, you know, some of the horrible things that happened in their childhood. They didn't get along then, and both of them were equal parties there. Well, not equal, but they were both contributors. So, Stepsisters by Susan Mallery. It's mostly narrated by the one woman's point of view. And let's see, there's Sage and Daisy, and then the other sister, Cassidy. I'm sorry. It's a lot of books I read, so I have to double check to keep track of the names. So, Daisy is the one mostly in the beginning telling the story, and her husband has just left her and she's, you know, trying to raise her 2 kids and keep her life together when her sister Sage appears on the scene. And Sage is this really beautiful, very popular in school kind of stepsister that was mean to Daisy when they were growing up because Daisy was kind of pudgy and very intellectual and academic, whereas Sage was, you know, really socially intelligent and got along with everybody. And then there was this other sister, Cassidy. So Sage and Daisy are not related. The father married, Daisy's father married Sage's mother. And then they had Cassidy. So Cassidy is the youngest, and she's biologically related to both of them. Well, as the story unfolds, you find out that the mother that married Daisy's father was just a really horrible, gold-digging woman who raised her daughters to be gold diggers. And when Daisy's father, divorced her, she raised her daughters, the two daughters, to really hate Daisy. She blamed Daisy for the divorce. And, as the story unfolds, you find out that, it wasn't really the sisters' fault. They hated their other sister because of the mean mother. And so you sort of see the sisters trying to reconnect. Now, there was some stuff about that I liked, but I also just got so tired of the whole boo-hoo factor, right? Oh, boo-hoo, my mother's a gold digger. She raised me to be a gold digger. Now I don't know how to relate to men, and so I'm just going to be a gold digger too. I just found, and that was Sage, I found that very, very irritating, and I really didn't sympathize much at all with Sage. I got tired of it, because it's like, you want her to, I like Daisy, and Daisy and Sage did eventually, forgive each other and try to reconnect, and then Sage, of course, has to find a way to screw it up, and we're all supposed to feel sorry for Sage, and I wasn't buying it. I didn't care for Sage. I sort of like Daisy. I didn't really care for Sage and Cassidy, and I get that they were raised to hate Daisy, and as I was reading it, I was like, well, maybe we're going to find out Daisy did something to deserve all this hatred. No, it was just the mean gold-digging mother. So out of 5 stars, I'd give this one 2. I kind of like Daisy. I like the approach of, sisters trying to reconnect, but I just got so tired of the lack of responsibility for one's actions. Oh, I'm just a mean person because of my mom. I can't fix myself. I didn't like it. Same thing, really. I'm halfway through this one, Golden Girl by Elin Hilderbrand, and it's really one thing I learned about myself in this particular video process and reading 3 books and trying to, get them read so I can tell you about them. The thing I learned about myself from this experience is that I have to like the characters in order to like the book. I really didn't like Sage at all. I kind of liked Daisy. The other one, Cassidy, I was pretty much indifferent. I hate these characters. Okay? Can I just tell you, I hate the characters in this book, all of them, and I don't think I'm even going to finish it. I'm on page, I don't know, let's see, 271, and there's about 370 so pages in here, and, the woman, it's an interesting premise. Again, I give Elin Hilderbrand kudos for the premise. It's an interesting premise. The main character dies, and she's a famous author. And because she dies so suddenly, she's allowed to watch on the people in Earth that, she left behind. And she's allowed 3 nudges, right? So there's 3 times that she can nudge their fates. And I think that's a really cool premise. I like that a lot. But all the people are jerks. I don't get any of these people. I kind of liked the woman who died until I found out what she did. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done. You are the only character I liked, and now I hate you. So I'm sorry, that's terrible. But she has these 3 children, and the 3 children all have various problems. The one, Willa's kind of nice. I like Willa, okay. She's like Miss Overachiever. She's got to have everything perfect. She keeps having miscarriages, and she's trying to hold on to her pregnancy. She's pregnant, but she doesn't want anyone to know because of her history of miscarriage. And then her mother dies, and so she's got all this anxiety there, and she's trying to hold it together for her 2 siblings. The woman's daughter, Willa's sister, what is her name? She's Carson. That's right. Her name is, they're all named after authors. So Carson is the sister. She's a bartender. She has a drug habit. She's having an affair with a married man, and it's just boo-hoo-hoo. Oh my goodness. I can't stop using drugs. I can't stop sleeping with married men. Oh no. She just really annoys me. I don't have any sympathy. And I guess that makes me kind of harsh, and I need to evaluate that about myself. I'm sorry. But I don't buy into that. And then the main main character, the woman who's looking on from above, her husband left her for a married woman. So that the husband, I think his name is JP, and then he left the main character who's passed on for this woman named Amy, and I'm supposed to feel sorry for Amy. Oh no, I had an affair with a man, I ruined his family, and now the children hate me. Boo hoo! Like, ugh! I don't care for these characters. Have I made that clear? I'm sorry. I feel like a monster. But yeah, I don't even think I'm going to finish this one. If you're interested, though, there is a little bit of a mystery because the main character that's, Golden Girl, she's looking up from beyond. She was hit. It was a hit and run. She was out jogging and she was hit. And there's a bit of a mystery in how she dies. And then there's also the situation with her 3 children and, how is she going to use her nudges to help them with their lives. So that is Golden Girl by Elin Hilderbrand. I do want to say I've read her other books and I liked them. I've never been like, oh, 5 stars for Elin Hilderbrand. But I've always thought her books were relaxing and fluffy. This one, I don't find this fluffy. I find this very irritating. My least hated book of the 3 would be The Newcomer by Mary Kay Andrews. This one, I realized about myself again, that the reason I like this book of the 3, or the reason I hated it the least, I guess I would say I like this one. Of 5 stars, I'd give this one 3 stars at least, maybe 3.5 or 4. I liked the characters. I think that's, for me, a deal breaker. I have to care about the characters in order to enjoy the books. So with this one, there's this woman who, her sister has been murdered, and she finds her sister's murdered body in the sister's apartment, and so she grabs the daughter and goes on the run because the sister has been saying that her ex-husband would kill her, and if she ever comes upon a tragedy, to grab her daughter and run from the ex-husband. So the main character in this book, that's exactly what happens. The book starts with her, what is her name? Letty. Her name is Letty. And she grabs her sister's daughter and car and makes a run for it. And then, of course, she's wanted as a suspect in the murder. So she's on the run with the daughter, and she finds the sister that was murdered had a go bag, and in the go bag was an ad for a motel. So Letty, the main character, she goes to this motel hoping to figure out why her sister had an ad for the motel in her go bag. So she's at the motel, and there's this really lovely lady who runs the motel, and she's kind of a sucker for people and strays, and so she takes in Letty and gives her a job and gives her a place in the motel to live with the little girl. And then the lady who runs the motel has this son who's a police officer, and if you know anything about Summer Fluff, you know there's like a pending romance in there. So the police officer has feelings for Letty, and he fights them because he knows there's something fishy about this girl. She just shows up with a kid that's not hers, and she's very elusive about where she came from and what exactly is going on in her life. So he's suspicious of her, but he's also falling in love with her. And then there's, Letty's struggle with trying to keep the little girl safe and trying to, create some kind of future. How long can she manage to be on the run? At one point, is she going to be able to be safe from the ex-husband and be able to provide a life for the little girl? Unbeknownst to the main character, Letty, she is guardian of the little girl in a will, and she has all kinds of properties and millions of dollars that she'll be overseeing for the little girl. So, of course, this one is fluffy. It has a lovely, fluffy, happy ending, but it wasn't terribly fluffy in that, there's a murder, and the woman is on the run with this poor little girl, and, but I thought this one was pretty good. At least I liked the characters. So, I'm sorry to be negative Nancy. Usually I tell you great things about books, but I did read these 3. I felt like since I spent the time reading them, I want the credit. So I wanted to do a video on them and tell you what I thought of them, but also I wanted to tell you, I don't know what's going on. I mean, these were like, really solid authors in my mind for Summer Fluff, and this time I'm left disappointed. So anyway, those are my opinions of those 3 books, and I hope that you will continue to read for yourself and find out what kind of books you like, and I will see you soon.